Hi guys, welcome to Learning the Law. I'm Gaiche Elizabeth Abila. Learning the Law is all about discussing interesting topics in law. I have with me here colleagues from Central University, and I'd like them to introduce themselves. Then we discuss on the topic rape.
Hello, I'm Patrick.
I'm Nana Bibios.
I'm Ikuya Savre.
And I'm Denzel.
Okay, we've had so many cases on rape in this country, both the reported ones and unreported ones. We all know the normal definition of what rape is, but I'm curious to know the legal definition of what rape is. So Denzel, what do you think about rape?
Okay, before we look at the legal definition, let us take a look at section 97 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act, that is Act 29. So section 97 creates the offense of rape, and it describes rape as a first degree felony. Now we know that all first degree felonies are punished by life imprisonment. However, rape is exclusive to this punishment. With rape, the punishment is not less than 5 years and not less than 25 years.
Not less than 5 years,
Yes.
and not more than
not more than 25 years. Okay. So 98 defines rape, and it defines rape as having the carnal knowledge of a female of not less than 16 years, that is 16 or above, without her consent.
Right. Okay, so what I would like to add to that is you realize that in Ghana, the crime of rape is gender specific and age specific because per section 98, it clearly states that it's having the carnal knowledge of a female of 16 years and above.
Alright. So what do you think? What is carnal knowledge?
You first of all have to know what carnal knowledge is, as you've asked. And then carnal knowledge was actually defined in the case of Queen and Papa Dimitropoulos. It was said to be the penile penetration into the vagina of a woman. That is carnal knowledge, simply said.
Okay. Penile penetration.
Into the vagina, don't call it into the vagina.
Into the vagina.
Okay, I think the law believes that a woman is the only person that can do it because she is the only person that has an opening.
Okay.
An opening that can actually be penetrated by a man.
So if a case on rape is sent to court, what should the prosecutor prove, or how will you succeed such a case?
Before we even get to that, personally, I believe the definition of carnal knowledge used to define rape again is flawed, very, very flawed. Because if you say a penile penetration into the vagina, what you are trying to tell me is that a man cannot.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay. So what the law is basically saying is that a man cannot be raped because a man does not have a vagina and a woman does not have a penis.
Okay.
But I believe it is really flawed in this present era because when this law was written back then, that is 1960,
Okay.
women were more prone to rape. I don't mean now you cannot be raped, but I'm saying that they were more vulnerable as at that time. Okay, that's how the forefathers viewed it.
Okay.
But now there have been several cases where men have been raped. Yes, and so saying that it's the penile penetration into the vagina is very, very, very lacking because at this point in time, a man can be raped.
Yeah, I'd like to state that I agree with Denzel completely. And it is very disgraceful that as a country, this is the kind of law concerning rape that is governing us. Especially in 2018, when there have been so many reforms worldwide, there have been so much education about what constitutes rape, and it's very bad. It's very, very bad. I mean, there's an argument that states that men cannot be raped because during sex they penetrate and etc. But then I don't think that is is right, because you see, we are human beings. We are wired biologically to find certain things attractive, to like certain things, to respond to stimuli, etc., etc. You see, so if you find a man in a situation where, and I saw this video of three women with a man in Kenya, where these women were naked, they had overpowered the man, and they were forcibly having sex with him. You see, naturally what happens is that he's attracted to the women, like you are naked, so he's obviously going to become raped. But then it doesn't mean that he wants to have sex with you. Do you understand? It's a natural biological process. It is how he's been wired. It is what is supposed to happen. He's supposed to become raped. But it does not mean that that's what he wanted to do.
Okay.
You see, there are certain things as human beings that we go through, that we vomit, we sneeze. There are so many biological processes that we go through that you cannot control. You have no control, right? There's nothing you can do about it. So trying to argue that because men penetrate women during sex, they cannot be raped, I find it very, very, very lacking.
So what you're trying to say is the law is discriminatory.
It is very, very discriminatory. Very.
I'm sorry I disagree with the both of you because I believe that before there's any erection at all, it depends on you, the man. I mean you, the man. Irrespective of what has happened to you, irrespective of what the woman has done to you, it being drugs or seduction, you understand? There's an erection. And then you agree with me that aside the early morning erection we all go through, before a man can actually have erection, I mean good erection, it depends on what you see, your mindset, what you're going through, what you're thinking about, you understand? So it's not just about, and then you agree with me that a mere erection is not rape. There should actually be a penetration.
Okay.
Let's leave that aside and go to consent. Even when you've been drugged with any other drug like Viagra, any other drug, and then there's an erection over here, I don't believe that a woman can force a man who is on or at his right senses to have sex with a man. You understand?
That's what you believe.
Yes, I believe it, and I'm serious.
Oh, sure.
I'm serious about that because I'm a guy. You're a guy. He's a guy. We know what we are talking about. I don't believe a woman can force you to have sex with a person if you are not ready. If you are not consenting to it, no.
I really disagree with your view.
Ikea, please let me tell you something. As guys, we being guys.
I think you should
Even
speak
if-
for yourself.
No, they are here.
You
They
are
can
not
rebut
every
it.
man.
Listen, there are
You are
men
not
over here.
every man.
They can rebut it. But I just
The
want you
sample
to know
size is very
that-
small. No, seriously, 3 boys. You can't throw around a theory based on 3 experiences from people against the whole world. You can't tell me that.
And then I'm telling you that even if you are drugged indeed, and then there is sexual intercourse over there, even though outwards you let the whole world see that you didn't consent to it, but deep down you know that you could have done something about it. Sorry. You know.
Yeah.
You could have done
Could have
something about it.
protected
But so I believe, and I totally agree with the Ghanaian law. A man can never be raped. And if you have any problem with that, I think you should revisit the statute. Which
I
creates the
have
offense
plans
it.
of doing that
Good.
because it is very
But
disgraceful.
until that,
We'll just maintain our
just hold your
We will
peace.
not,
Wait,
I will not
wait,
hold my
wait.
peace.
Like you said, we are both men. Patrick, I can find a woman very attractive and not want to have sex with her.
Exactly.
So if I find her attractive, the likelihood of me getting an erection is very high. It doesn't mean I want to have sex.
Thank
Because if I see a girl naked that I find attractive, sorry, I would erect, okay, but I may not want to have sex with her, okay. Whether she dragged me or not, the likelihood of me erecting, like Ikuya said, it is biological. I'll definitely respond to stimulus. Because if I see a naked woman, hey, naked woman, Because even children who cannot ejaculate see women and they get at it doesn't mean they want to have sex.
Okay.
They will just naturally have an erection. You understand what I'm saying? So you cannot say that if you don't want to have sex, you won't erect. You may
Another
erect,
reason
but
why
not want to
I
have sex.
find what you said very lacking too is reason with me. When you have a headache, you take paracetamol, right? When the medicine enters your body, do you tell it to go to your brain to solve your headache? Do you control what's the medicine? Do you control how the medicine? No. Do you control how the medicine relieves you of your pain? Do you tell the medicine, oh please, as you're entering my body, please cure my headache in 10 seconds? No, you don't do that. Exactly. So if you are drugged, if you are given Viagra, you have no control over what the drug does to your body.
And mind you, you have no control about what the drug does to your body, but not you will do to your body.
And that is what you are failing to understand. That
What am I failing to understand?
listen, once you have been drugged, right? It's a recipe for disaster. You are erect. All the woman needs to do is to jump on you. That's all. You see, I feel like you are picturing it in the common sense of the act, that it's the man that will initiate everything. Do you understand? But you've been drugged, you've been given Viagra. Do you know what happens when you're given Viagra? All the blood in your body rushes to your penis to maintain an erection. That's why people that get erections for Viagra, according to studies, they last really, really long in bed. That's why. That's what the drug does. It rushes all the blood in your body to that one concentrated point. So there's nothing you can do. There's no shower. There's nothing that you can do till you've had your release. Do you understand me? And if you're in that situation, you cannot deny the fact that you become vulnerable because, I mean, you are not even thinking, you can't even think with your head in that situation. I don't know, I'm not a man, I don't know what it is, but then I can only imagine. Do you understand me? So if you're in a situation like that, you're already below you are at a disadvantage because you've been drugged. You have no control over your body. There's nothing that you can do. The person is at liberty to do whatever they want to do with you. And then you see, I feel like you keep focusing on the points too that like men are meant to be stronger than women. So how will a woman hold a man back and stuff like that? But you see, it's very, very relative. It's very, very relative. And if you're in a situation where you are that erect with the aid of a drug like that, can you imagine how weak he is? Do you understand?
Also with the penetration aspect, he's trying to paint a picture that a woman cannot penetrate a man. But take this present generation, they are sex toys. Excuse me for using this example, but I want you to understand something. There are sex toys. If a woman picks up a sex toy and uses it to her pleasure, did the sex toy have sex with her? Wasn't she the same person who had sex with herself but using a sex toy? In that same light, if you are there and I hold you down and I use your penis to have sex with myself, you never had sex with me.
So who does the penetration? Who does the
If you're saying
penetration?
that
Was it a
you
woman or
are
the man?
likely to compare a sex toy to a living body, literally you are saying that if you're saying that a woman can actually have sex with a dead body, fine. You understand? Fine. But in a situation where this guy is not dead, he has just been dragged with a very hard erection. That doesn't mean he can think for himself.
You are not getting my argument. My argument is before anybody performs a physical act, the person uses his or her own effort. If I want to hit you, it will take effort to lift my hand and hit you. However, I can pick Ikuya's hand and use it to hit you. It doesn't mean Ikuya was the one who hit you. It was my effort that used Ikuya's hand to hit you. So if I use a part of your own body to hit somebody else, it doesn't mean you did it.
Yeah.
Because the effort wasn't coming from you.
You said something earlier.
Yeah.
And I asked who does the penetration. Was it a lady or you, the man?
I feel like you should shift the focus from who is doing the penetration to focus on what is important, consent. That is what is important. That is the foundation, that's the premise for rape. Because it is the lack of consent that makes it rape.
Even with who is doing the penetration, like I just said, although you are using my penis, I'm still not doing the penetration. Do you get what I'm saying? who is doing the penetration? I believe it's the woman because she's using the man's penis. But with what? The man's penis. Do you understand what I'm saying? She is doing the penetration, but not with her own body parts. It's like I'm hitting you, but not with my body parts. You understand what I'm saying? I'm using her hand to hit you. It doesn't mean she's hitting you, but I'm still doing the hitting. In that same manner, I can use somebody else's penis and force it into you. It doesn't mean the person is doing the penetration. I'm still
Do
doing
you
the
know
penetration.
what is called consent by conduct? So if I've been drugged and then I have a erection and then you take my penis and then just insert it into your vagina and I'm there watching you,
Yes.
that is consent.
By
The man can actually
Yes, that
resist.
is consent by
I
conduct.
think that is a very, very serious remark to make because see, rape is a very, very dicey issue. It is very dicey. So when you are tasked to discuss something like this, you have to be very careful because you see, people that are raped end up with problems of self-esteem, they end up traumatized and things like that. And you cannot say that, you can't reduce or negate someone's liability by saying that, well, because you acted calmly, you didn't resist. I mean, it meant that you liked it. Do you understand? Because let me give you this example. There was a girl that was raped in Legon. She was coming from Northwest or something, going to her hostel in Legon. And then the man raped her in the bush. And as he was raping her, she ejaculated. She was being raped, but she ejaculated. So does that mean that she enjoyed the experience? Does that mean that she consented? Like, does that mean that she enjoyed it? Do you understand? It is a biological thing. You don't choose how you respond to certain things. Do you get it? So the consent by conduct thing, it is very, very dangerous when you use it with rape. Because there are so many stories of how some girls, some men caught them and then started raping them and then they were so scared, they were so afraid that they couldn't even react. So they just lying there quietly. Do you understand? So does that mean that they also wanted it?
I
Because
feel
all of
they
us-
did that not to hurt themselves. Maybe Denzel saw me and he was trying to rape me. If I don't release as in calm down for him to do whatever he's doing, maybe if I force myself to
You can
resist,
end up
I
doing
can end up
something,
hurting
yeah.
my own self.
And I think it's also important to take into perspective the fact that everybody responds to things differently. There's this thing called fight or flight. It's how generally as human beings we respond to dangerous situations. So you might see a car coming. Some people like they become so fear struck that they can't even move. Like the car is coming towards you, but you're just standing there like this. And then someone will see a car coming and they are gone. Do you understand? So you can't really consent by conduct. It is very, very dangerous when it comes to issues of rape. It's very dangerous. And it is even more dangerous because in Ghana, right, per section 42 of Act 29, consent can be revoked at any time, even after the act. Even after the act, it can be revoked. And the instance where it can be revoked after the act is if you find out that the circumstances that led you to sleep with the person were fabricated. Maybe he told you that he was a businessman and he was going to do this and this to you. Basically, if you were lied to, if you were I don't want to use the word fraud, but then if the person purposefully took someone else's character or purposely deceived you in to a very high extent, then you can revoke consent.
Okay.
Because the moment you try to put consent by conduct there, it negates the whole argument of the whole premise of even trying to avoid rape. Because I could easily go to court and I mean no one was there, it was just the two of us, and say that, well, I mean he was begging me and he said do you understand? Like it is a very, very dangerous thing. So with that I feel like it's something that we have to steer away from completely.
I really agree with Ikea. I believe when it comes to rape, anything other than a yes is a no.
Exactly.
No matter the
Yeah.
conduct. Because I can kiss you, I can take out your pennies as being a girl. I can do anything I want with you, but it doesn't mean I want to have sex. You get me? When it comes to rape, anything other than yes, I want to have sex, and whether I pull you on me onto the bed, take off your clothes, it doesn't mean I give you permission to do that. Because I remember there's this case, I think Young versus the Republic, where a woman was raped in her sleep, believing it was her husband. She didn't resist, she didn't struggle, nothing, because to her, she was feeling sleepy, and she believed her husband came back home and wanted to have sex with her, and she really allowed. She didn't open her eyes, she didn't resist because she believed it was her husband, only to find out that it was somebody else. That's where we are talking about consent after finding out it wasn't with her. So you can't say by conduct, because I can accept depending on different circumstances, and I can also conduct myself in a manner that is sexual, but I do not want to have sex. Are you getting me? So other than a yes, I want to have sex, I believe with rape, you cannot use any conduct to describe it as accepting the sexual. Yes. Yeah.
And what makes it even more dangerous is the fact that even the least bit of penetration, even like the slightest bit, will still amount to rape.
And this slightest bit of penetration, who is it going to?
I don't understand.
Yes, the woman, right? And this is a situation where you guys are trying to blame a guy for being raped, and you are still talking about penetration. Who is penetrating?
The man is
See,
creating the
that is why I said that if you focus on the technicality of the law, you will lose sight of what is truly important, which is consent. When you are raped, you violated. Something that was with you has been taken away from you forcibly. Imagine a child, a toddler. Toddler has a very favorite toy, a toy that is always with. And then one day someone comes and just yanks it out of their hand without any explanation. Just take it. Can you imagine how painful, how traumatic that can be? And that is what you should focus on, because if you try to focus on the technicality of it, there will be so many people that have been raped. That will be like there will be no justice for them. Do you understand?
I spoke about the penetration because you just introduced it. You understand? You just said the penetration should be the least degree of it, and that was what I was speaking to. You understand? You introduced it. So if you're going that way, we will move towards that side. You understand? Anything aside are cool. But now I just want you to know that per the law, the current law of Ghana, a man can never do that.
Yes, and taking it from your perspective, when you spoke about after the act is done, the victim is traumatized. I don't think after a man is being, don't use the word rape actually, but a man has sex with a woman, maybe even though not willingly, the man will be traumatized afterwards.
You see, that is you thinking that way. I can show you so many testimonies of men that have been taken advantage of, and then their lives have never been the same.
But how many men come out to report this?
Exactly, it's because of the stigma. Because people act like if you're a man and you've been raped, you are not a man anymore.
Okay.
Do you understand? But you are a human being too. You've been violated. Put yourself in a situation where you have a woman that you're about to marry, or you're married to a woman that you really love, someone that you are so committed to. Then say you go away for a work weekend or something, and then some woman, some seductress in your office, or someone that you are really not attracted to, someone that you don't really like character-wise, slips something to your drink, and then forcibly she has sex with you. Can you imagine how you would feel knowing? Can you imagine the trauma of wondering what would happen if your wife found out? Are you really telling me that if you were in that situation, you wouldn't be worried? Are you really telling me that? You see, I think that we all think this way because priority, or let me say premium, is placed on women's virginity, but it is not placed on men's virginity. If you're a woman and then you like to have sex, you are loose. But then if you're a man and you behave that same way, there's nothing wrong with it, you're just being a man. It's like the standards for women are higher than the standards for men. But then you forget that we are all equal. Do you understand? We are all equal. If someone forcibly speaks with you, they have violated you. It does not make you less of a man for feeling violated. Nobody has the right to stigmatize you because you have been violated.
I think I'm kind of surprised because coming from you.
But I think our laws need to be amended to favor men more.
Before that, I just want to make something clear. She stated something that we are all equal. I just want you to know that we are never equal. We can never be equal.
That's not that
let's not digress
Yes,
because
we are not
can-
going there, but I'm just
it's-
making it clear to you that
Based off of what?
we are
No, okay, guys, we are
irrespective
talking
of what
about
we're thinking right now. We are never.
Why are we not
We
equal?
can't.
Why can't we not
Let's
be
end
equal?
Let's end discussion on equality,
So who's the
please.
lesser
Guys,
individual?
This is
the
not.
lesser-
This is not a time to place priority over something. Just to know.
let's not
that we are
No,
move
who's
to
the
equality.
lesser- who's the lesser
and
gender?
you shouldn't even try it.
No,
Guys.
who is the lesser gender according to you?
Let's
end
end
this.
discussion on equality. When you were talking, you said something about consent being revoked during or after sex. So what about during sexual intercourse?
Anybody is at liberty to tell you that, please, let's stop what you are doing. You need to stop.
So if from my guy and I are having sex and I
Yeah.
tell him to stop,
Yeah.
what if he refuses?
Then he
That
has
is
raped
rape.
you.
If you
See,
really-
that's where marital rape and those other issues come in. Because you are married to the person, how can your husband rape you? Well, it is your body.
Okay.
I agree to the consent part, see, but this particular issue about
Marital rape.
revoking, not even marital rape,
Revoking consent
revoking during intercourse. How you tell me that yes? And you later come and tell me when I'm enjoying
When
the
you read the case of Republic and Ketamaki,
Okay.
the guy was actually having sex with a girlfriend, and then in the course of business, the girl actually asked him to stop because she wasn't enjoying it anymore, and the guy proceeded. The court said it was rape because consent, just as Ikuya said, can be revoked
At
at
any
any
time.
time. So if you're a man and you're having sex with a woman, and immediately the woman says stop, please stop.
You need to stop.
I remember in that case too.
but I believe like sex is a whole act. I believe the end of sex is the climax. Like if you start sex, you can't say you've had sex.
If you read that case very well, the one judge said sex is a continuing act and ends at withdrawal. Whether you've reached your orgasm
Or not.
or not. Withdraw.
And let's not
You
forget
understand?
that every case is based on experience. Okay? In that case, I learned they had sex twice. Yes, and they had the first one, and during the second one, that was when then she revoked the consent. And his argument was that after they had the sex one,
The
first
first
one,
sex.
sorry, the first sex, she didn't say anything.
So
And
why
the
is she
second
saying
one,
he should stop and
yes, during the
But you see, if like Chris said, every case is based on the circumstances. So maybe you think that if you are enjoying yourself, so why should you stop? You don't know how the other person is feeling. People have children, and then right after their partners want to sleep with them. You don't know how painful that is. Do you understand? And if you are going to look at sex as you enjoying yourself, it is very worrying because is it not supposed to be an act that the two of you enjoy? So should you not be pleasing each other rather than you thinking about how you are enjoying? So why should you stop?
That is, you said earlier that some, let me say, activity. When you start, and I'm not saying that she cannot revoke her consent, but I disagree with that. When you start enjoying some activities like that, it is very hard, very, very hard to stop.
I think I agree with you because let's leave something factual over here. And
Okay.
you should just reason with me. I don't see why and how you can just give an at-once break on a motorway.
Thank you.
You understand?
So if
Thank you.
if
You can't
You've
just
started
do
the
that.
journey.
no,
You started it, so I think you should just let us go.
Exactly, because if I stop now, I stop later. What difference does it make? I've already entered you. I've already. It is just maybe the duration that will vary. Maybe I'll go a few 2 minutes more or 3 or 4 minutes more. But then I've still entered you. You can't go back and say I never had sex with you. I believe it's still the same sex. So what is the point of telling me to start the midway? You tell me it's okay. That is a punishment.
But that's what the law says.
Okay, yeah,
but
that's
So
it
we
is
just-
very worrying if you tell me that first of all, a human being is not a motorway. And having sex with a human being doesn't require you to pause a brake or step on your handbrake or
And
something.
you have no idea what really men go through.
No, but then if it's
Okay, guys.
is it all about
Guys,
you
time will
or-
not permit us, so I think we'll have to come back to continue this argument. So thanks for watching this video. If you like this, please hit the like button and please subscribe. We want to know your opinion, so keep the comments coming. Once again, I'm Rachel Elizabeth Danila. Thanks for watching Learning the Law. We'll be right back. Bye.